We are now going to install Windows 2022 Server and configure Windows so that it can be shut down from Proxmox without the need for any human intervention. Machine has booted. I'm downloading Windows Server from Microsoft. Rather than download it on my PC, I'm going to download it directly into Proxmox. Let's right click here, copy link, go into Proxmox. We click on the local PVE1 ISO image, download from URL, and we paste the URL that we copied, we query it, and it should resolve to the ISO. And I'm going to start that download. While that download continues, let's have a look at the VirtIO drivers. And in short, what they do, they enable direct para-virtualized access to devices instead of slower emulated ones. Here we have a performance boost for these drivers. Go into Fedora, this is the directory, the latest one is 248. We go here, click on this directory, this is the ISO I need, right click, copy link, go back into Proxmox, that is happily downloading. I can leave it downloading here, download from URL, query that, and I'm downloading that in parallel. The last tab I have open is the information about the quick emulator QEMU, and as you can see, this hypervisor provides para-virtualized devices. If you want to know more about QEMU, you can go to this page, and as you will read, this open source hypervisor emulates the physical computer. Many devices, as we will see, will be represented by the virtual device rather than the physical one. This has downloaded. Let's start the process of creating our virtual machine. Let's go through here, create VM. I'm going to call this VM Win22. Say next. I'm going to use the ISO I downloaded as the image. My guest OS is Windows and it's 22.11.22.25. I have an additional drive for the VirtIO drivers, which I have downloaded here. I say next. Here, SCSI controller is VirtIO SCSI. The machine is going to be stored here. I am not including TPM, and for the time being, I'm not going to check the QEMU agent. Next, in terms of SCSI, that's the controller, the disk size, I'm leaving it at 32, nothing else changes. I will have one CPU and 2 cores, and memory, I'm going to do 8 gig. Network, it's para-virtualized as well, and leave everything as is, and we have finish. Here is our machine. Let's start it. The console, I'm leaving everything as default. Here I'm choosing the driver that will set up my virtualized hard disk. Next, and I'll see you at the end of this installation. We're back. Proxmox is booting, and we're booting into Windows OS. We're now continuing to configure Windows. The password I am going to use is shown here below, and you will notice that it is the same one I've used. Real life situation, you shouldn't have the same password across the board. We have the Windows interface. I'm going to go into the console. Let me log in. Go into Device Manager. And first of all, you will see that I have a couple of devices that have an exclamation mark. So we will have to deal with that. But if I go into certain hardware, you will see where QEMU comes in. First thing I'm going to do is to install the QEMU guest. This will enable certain functionality. As you can see, no networking, we had the exclamation, and to do that, I'm going to go into File Manager where I can find the two CD-ROMs I shared. And I'm going to click Virtual I/O Guest Tools, going to agree, next, accept, and network has now been found, so I'm going to say yes and finish. After this operation, I'm going to restart my operating system. It's always a good idea when you're installing hardware and low-level drivers to do that. Let's update Windows. Let's go into Device Manager, and you will see that the exclamation marks we have now been addressed because their drivers have been installed. I'm going to go into Enable Remote Desktop Settings. And just that. I am confirming. Normally, when I have Proxmox, I tend to use Remote Desktop. Going to now shut down the VM to finalize this step. Shut down. I'm now going to go into the hardware and I'm going to clean up a bit. I'm going to remove the second CD. I'm going to not use any media in the first one. And I'm going to set this to boot automatically at startup. So whenever Proxmox starts, it starts itself. And more importantly, I'm going to enable the QEMU guest agent. And you will see that make sure the guest agent is installed. That's why we did not enable it before. We installed, we shut down, and now we enable. We should be all good to go. Let's start this. I am going to maximize this, Control Delete, and we are logged. My machine is ready. What I want to do now is test the ability to shut down Windows without the need of any intervention. Let's try that out. Machine is powered on. Now I'm going to shut down. Yes. Shut down the guest. So I'm going to go into Proxmox. I'm going to hit shutdown. Guest has been shut down. And if I go into my VM, that has been shut down. What we have now is that Proxmox can shut down the Windows guest cleanly. For other systems such as Linux, just search for the term ACPI. Thank you and see you at the next step.